is. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good morning and welcome to our very last 2025 Saratoga Today on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your proud host, Howard Kravitz, along with co-host Pete Visco. We are here to talk about the late pick 5 on a beautiful, sunny, very late summer weekend at Saratoga Springs. It is our last show for Saratoga Today, but remember, everyone, tomorrow, Labor Day, they do run at Saratoga. So tomorrow, Monday, is closing day. We will not have a Saratoga Today show tomorrow. This is the final one. Mr. Visco, we got 14 races today at Saratoga. You wrote the Saratoga Power Pick tip sheet. You got a 5% bonus for the extra races you had to cover? But unfortunately, a lot more scratches than we thought for some reason in the late pick 5. I know you and I had to do a little dance this morning to change our picks and whatnot, and a little frustrating for you and some of my top picks as well. But the field sizes are still big. And we also, at the end of the show, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of the show, we have talked about the Grade 1, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the late pick 5, and where's my buddy? There he is. Sierra Leone running back today. So at the end of the show, we'll talk about the late pick 5. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. There was a lot of races today. It was a tough sequence, and the late pick 5. I think the late pick 5 has a chance to pay because, not to be rude, but they're not the greatest of fields in the world, but they're big enough to where I think you can get some prices. So I think this will be a very complicated sequence to play. But there are like 6 pick 5s along the way. So if you're a pick 5 player like we are, there's a lot of chances, a lot of swings you can take on this last Saturday or last Sunday of the Saratoga meet. Yeah.
We have a lot of people in the chat. Just want to mention, I just brought up a few. Tom, always skip my beauty sleep. Well, thanks, Tom. Tom, you don't need beauty sleep. You're a lovely gentleman. I've seen you in person. You look just fine. No beauty sleep necessary for you. Katie wants Sierra to beat Mind Frame. I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a hell of a race. Tom wants to know, does anyone know why the Gold Cup? I think it's for Fox purposes.
TV, right?
Tom.
Yeah, it's TV.
It's got to be for TV. Again, now you get into there's football today too, college football. Things are changing. We're actually going to change our schedule a little bit also. We don't want to bump into some of the football stuff. I'll talk about that. Actually, you should mention that at the end of the show as well. Jackson Muniz is here. What's up, Jackson? Jackson was at Del Mar yesterday with Ryan, and wow. A few quick things, real quick. First of all, I want to thank everyone who watched our Weekend Warriors show last night / late afternoon, depending on where you live. Pete, we had over 3,000 views for our Weekend Warriors show with myself, Kyle, Chris, and Noah. It was a lot of fun. There was controversy. There were horses going into rails. There was a weird betting going on. I don't know if you had a chance to see or bet Del Mar, if you were busy with your family last night, but
I watched the Pacific Classic live. That was the only, because my son and I were watching a show and it literally ended at like 9:11 and the race went off at I think 9:12. So I was like, oh, let's put the race on real quick. So I got to see that live. The rest of it I looked at, but I wound up not betting. Luckily, I don't think I would have hit the pick 5 late. I don't remember. I actually didn't handicap all 5. I only handicapped the stakes races yesterday anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's
that
very
Pacific
chalky.
Classic was nice. Yeah, it was chalky, right?
But actually, I'm paying twice as much as it should have. We talked about it last night. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for that. Yesterday, Saratoga, I joked on between yourself and Paul. I was 6 by 6 in the last 2 legs of the pick 5. And I texted you guys, if I don't hit this, I need to go to a meeting. Sure enough, Linda Rice wins with a horse I hated in the second to last race. And I didn't hit the pick 5. And as horse racing goes, I was pissed, frustrated, Pete. And what happens in the last race? The old reverse tri-key comes through for me with the 10. I got lucky and had a monster try. So this game is just crazy, man. There's so many ups and downs.
Can I tell you one quick story? So remember last
Sure.
week we talked about being stupid or maybe I forget what we talk about that a lot, unfortunately, but and losing because you do something stupid. So I looked and I was like, Acoustic Avenue. Did I like that horse after I looked? So I went back to my PPs and I always mark every horse A, B, C, or toss. And basically when I'm building my tickets, I just look at that because I did all the work already. And I realized I had a beautiful note for Acoustic Ave as an A horse, but
Mm.
never checked any of the boxes for
Oh,
that horse. So didn't have it there. So when I went back to build the ticket, I just completely ignored Acoustic Ave or would I have, but luckily I would have lost the last leg anyway. So it didn't cost me the pick 5. But it was just like, how stupid can you be sometimes? You do all that work and then you
well,
do something dumb.
yeah, and you know what? I hated surveillance yesterday, and I used the damn horse anyway. And I should have just used a younger. That's a perfect example of it going with a younger horse that's rested over an older horse, even
Yeah.
if they look a little better on paper. I was so pissed, man. But we gave out a lot of winners on our Thursday show for Saturday. Tommy Joe was absolutely outstanding
Yeah.
in the spin away. You and I had Beleza, so congrats to both of
Yeah.
us
We
with
both had
Beleza
that one on the show. Yep.
beating La Mahina handily, actually. The 7, heartbreaking, what you're talking about was heartbreaking in the second to last leg. But anyway, we gave out a lot of winners on all of our power pick tip sheets yesterday. Hopefully,
Yeah.
people cash. We got Chris Walsh is here as well. All right, let's get to late pick 5, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're going to talk about race 5 at the end, the Jockey Club Gold Cup. So let me go ahead and bring up on the screen right now the sequence. Again, there are some scratches. We will talk about it. The field sizes are still good. It starts with the very last pick 5 of the day. Starts at 4:38 Eastern. It's the Disco Partner, and what a horse that was! Wow,
Yeah.
Disco Partner was just really good. New York bred uh, sprinter, very fast. I think won the Jaipur, Pete, in like 107 and change or something
That
several
sounds
years ago,
familiar.
if you
Yep.
remember.
Yep.
Crazy. There's no Disco Partners in this race, even though the race is named after him. Field of 7. There were 4 scratches. So the Moorline favorite is number 5, 26 Black. Coincidentally, Pete, a New York bred. How apropos. Horatio De Paz and Flavian Pratt, who, by the way, put on a clinic again yesterday with some of his rides out of Del Mar, and he is right back again, flying all the way across the country, Pete. That's how dedicated these guys are, and we're both going to go 26 Black. I'm going 5, 10, 9. You're going 5, 1, 9. Talk about 26 Black.
Yeah, so it's funny because my second and third horses in this race were the ones who scratched. So that's going to drive the price down. This is one I think is just in a field now where I think it lost a little bit of luster because of the scratches. This one's just coming into nice form. You see, this is the horse last time went into the Troy, was his first time in graded stakes, runs a nice second to a horse. So I don't know if we've talked about much Bring the Band Home on the show, but that horse has had back-to-back monster races in the Harvey Pack and in the
Yes.
Troy. So that horse, losing to that horse is no knock at all. So we're getting this horse back at 5.5, where he's 5 for 5 in the money at the distance. Only 1 for 5 on the win end, has a little bit of seconditis there, but has shown, at least if you see on the page there, late in 24 was winning races. And now I think we get Pratt second up, which I love that because now Pratt has a feel for the horse. Maybe we get the horse a little bit closer this time. Coming off that last race, I think everything sets up for this one. The only problem now is it's going to be the favorite as opposed to maybe you'd have got it at second, third choice.
Yeah, I have him on top, but I have some reservations, Pete. I mean, this is again where that last race come from a buyer perspective. Is he if he repeats that, he's wins here, but he's not really a speed horse. I have him on top because I sort of defaulted to him, but
Yeah.
I don't feel real confident. And by the way, as you know, I am not a fan of turf sprints. The Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, by the way, if it holds together, talk about a fun race that's going to be with Bring the Band Home. Notorious was absolutely unbelievable yesterday as he got DQ'd in. Reef Runner ran huge. Howard Wallowitz is a very good horse. You've
Don't
got
talk to me about that horse.
all right. Well, anyway. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That one cost me
But
that one
anyway,
cost me the pick 5 yesterday. Howard
ah,
Wallowitz not being able to get up, so that
yeah. Well, it
sucked.
didn't cost me because I don't bet Kentucky Downs. But anyway, I hear you. That was brutal. And by the way, if he got in the clear, he definitely would have won that race. I know you guys crap on gallop outs, but he galloped out way past.
Oh
the
no,
leader.
he was easily the best in the race. They just
Yeah.
let that bomb get away on the lead.
Yeah.
It pissed me off, man.
But anyway, I think the Breeders' Cup Turf Spring could be a real nice race with Euros coming in. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at Step Forward a little bit, Pete. I re-looked at the time form, and Step Forward, the 10, should be up close, and it might not be a fast pace. And what has he done wrong lately? I mean, he lost to Whitty last time. Didn't really have any excuses, but ran very well. He seems to be improving greatly here as a 6-year-old. Santana's had a great meet. He's got actually doesn't have any work since, so actually a small concern now that I look at that. But I don't know. I want someone who's going to be literally forward, and Step Forward could be that. I'm just scrolling through
He
here.
only scared me a bit because he hasn't won. He's 0 for 9 on the turf. That's what threw me off. So he was more of a board horse, but I think this race is pretty wide open. So I don't begrudge you taking a shot with a horse like that. Like, yeah, let's go to the 1 because that one is interesting.
Yeah, Outlaw Kid, by the way, I don't, the 2, I don't know. I think he's sort of done. His better days behind him. This is the wild card, Dancing Buck. I will say this, Pete. First of all, he's not going to be 10-1 because of the scratches. If he's like 5-2, I'm gonna use him a lot. He on paper, he's the fastest early. He's got some really good numbers from last year. But boy, this horse is ouchie. I mean, he only had 3 starts last year as a 6-year-old. He hasn't raced in over a year now. It is Carmouche. I'll have to take a look at the works I'll let you talk about the source and we'll move on. I'm going to look at the works as you do that. This is the wild card of the race.
Yeah, and the thing is with the scratches, and I don't remember if the scratches changed it much, but he's clearly the leader, most likely, as long as he breaks well and he's okay enough to break quickly out of the gate. Carmouche is obviously going to be aggressive. That's what he does. So I think this horse will be on the lead, but he's a 7-year-old, like you said, who hasn't run in a year. Us old guys, man, we need a little, it takes a little bit to get going. He might need one. I don't know if he's just going to come back firing like that. But like you said, on talent and on class, he's I mean, you see the works, at least on paper, they're fine. There's nothing.
How's Nevin off layoffs? Did you look at it, Pete?
I did, and he lost to the San Simeon, which is a grade 3, and he ran 4th in the Harvey Pack off a layoff, and that was it was a pretty lengthy one. But again, that was 2 years ago when he was 5. Now he's 7. Does the layoff hurt a 7-year-old a little bit more, or is he refreshed and reborn as an old timer?
Well,
he's on my tickets. I'll tell you that.
Something happened. I mean,
no. I just meant is he now? He hasn't run, so he's not tired. So maybe
no, he's not tired, but he also something happened with an injury or something. So I don't know. I'm gonna let the board be my guide. That's what I recommend everyone.
I mean, I think if you're playing it early and you don't have time to look at the odds, I feel like he's got to be included on the ticket just from the pace angle and the class angle. Yeah.
Maiden 30s are the second leg in race 11. Route the 3 is a scratch. That was a big scratch. Morning line favorite that actually I was trying to beat, Pete. Rare Society is out, was 8-1. So it's now a field of 8. College Hunk is a gelding. The morning line favorite now. Well, strictly by the morning line, it's the number 10. It's the first time starter. Vibrant Express for George Weaver and Manny Franco. Let's see where we're going to go with these changes here. I'm going to go 2-10-4, and Pete's going 10-5-8. Is this a default pick, or is it more than just I hate everyone else beat, so I'm going with first there with number 10?
I mean, there's a little bit of that, I think, in all these races, unfortunately, in the sequence we're talking about. But there's some things I like here. I'll read off some boring stuff on Vacoma. 20% first-time starters, 20% 3-year-old and up first-time starters, 21% dirt sprints. On the dam side, solid 12%, 17%, 11% in similar categories. And then George Weaver, he's won his last 2 first-time starters in dirt sprints. So I'm looking at it going, man, in a field that I don't love, maybe the first time, like you look at his works, there's nothing that leaps off the page. Maybe from the outside he can work out a trip, but I don't know. This was it was a little bit default. a little bit of, hey, we've seen some of the others and they're stinky. So
Yep.
let's go with a new one and hope that he's better than they are. But Weaver's good at this, and Vacoma's been awesome as a sire early on. So, I'll take a shot with that.
Again, Pete, I'm going to let the board be my guide. Mixed signals for me on Vibrant Express. First of all,
wait, look at that. Sylvain, Manny Franco with Weaver 0 for 30 the last 2 years. Well, there you go,
Wow.
Sylvain. That's not so
Wow,
good.
Sylvain with the stat. I
I
love
love it. Thank you, Sylvain.
Mixed feelings, Pete. The horse has solid B workouts, better than anyone in the field, actually, including a workout on August 2nd that I will read, courtesy of DRF Workout Reports. Want to mention them. Strong finish, shading 24 seconds for the final quarter, completing 5 furlongs in 101 and 3 without being asked.
Oh, nice.
That was the August 2nd work. Here's my concern, Pete. Everything you said is correct. I've got him in second. This is where you got to read the tea leaves to me. This is where having experience in handicapping helps a lot. The number 10's a New York bred, right, Pete? He's only 3 years old. He is a homebred. Okay, so the fact that he's a homebred and that he didn't cost $100,000, I like that because they didn't have to, they brought him on the farm. They're not like, disappointed with his, big price and dropping, right away, like that kind of thing. However, the New York bred series, the New York bred handicapping that they have and the races they offer, the program, sorry, it's in the morning.
It's Monday. It's Sunday morning. We don't need that. Yeah.
The New York bred program is very good, people with a lot of money, and they're just giving up on a horse right away for 30. That I don't like. And why not put him in a New York bred special, right? Obviously, he's not good enough for that. So that, just things to think about. I've got him second. There are very few gate works too. I guess that's a good sign. He breaks all everything outside. I don't know. This is definitely let the board be my guide again. George Flynn, Weaver is positive. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, thank you, Gregory. Well, we got awesome fans. Yeah, I like him. I don't know. I'm going to proceed with caution.
I think that's a valid reservation. So I wouldn't look at this as I could single this 10 or anything like that. So I think it's still a pretty spready race, most likely.
Pete, we talk about listening to each other and convincing each other, changing our minds. And I sure as hell don't want to change your mind about the number 2, who maybe you have in the mix and just don't have in the top 3. Lodato is one of these horses at 6-1, probably more like 4-1, that I like a little bit. Jose D'Angelo has had a solid meet. Saez, the horse showed a decent amount of speed on the turf, has been working very well. And this is a horse that's completely unexposed at this point. In terms of workout speed, this horse also has good workouts. Again, things that you might not know. B to B minus workouts, but working with Filoso and Benatornado. Benatornado is a serious Breeders' Cup sprint horse. And when I say working, I have not watched the works, but not working as fast as them. But the fact that D'Angelo's even putting that horse, as workmates with some nice horses, to me, gives extra credit. And with a race with not a lot of early speed and a lot of question marks, I think Lodato, the number 2, is very interesting, especially with an aggressive Saez. So I'm going to go with Lodato. And also we all actually you don't have Army Proud. You have Let's Get Weird, which it might look weird on paper. This is all, losing by 11.5, but that was a very quick early pace for the level. The works are really slow, but again, Rajiv is going to be not Rajiv. Romero, who I know is a very aggressive rider, rides for Adelphi. I don't mind this pick at all. I've actually got the 5 in the mix also, Pete, and then you've got the 8.
Yeah, the 5 real quick. Antonucci, Jenna, she's better. She's much better second off, especially when you sort of boil it down to sort of this scenario, maiden claiming at that level. She's much better second off. She's a little bit poor first off. So I was looking at it. Maybe we just get that improvement. And again, this horse did show some speed, and it was a contested lead. So maybe if can get out a little bit here and at a price, again, in a race where I think we're sort of reaching a little bit. I like I would definitely, I'll include your 2. I like the case for the 2. I might include the 2. Again, in all honesty, it wouldn't behoove anyone to include all of them in this race, because I think this is the one that could really blow up the sequence if it goes wild, especially because the favorite's going to be far outside first-time starter, who we're not 100% confident in. So
Well, if he's the
that's tough
favorite, then I'm
enough.
definitely going to use him more than I would. I don't. We'll see if he's the favorite. You could be
Yeah.
right about that. Anyway, we're going to go more chalky in race 12, which is out of the chute for claiming 32. There is a coupling for the last time, hopefully in the history of NYRA. How about that, Pete? This
No
could be the last
couplings tomorrow.
coupling.
We get none tomorrow. Did you
Well,
look
no,
yet?
they doesn't the
Oh,
rule
it's
change?
is it
Oh no, oh
today?
no, no. Sorry,
It's
the
after
penny
tomorrow, right?
breakage. The penny breakage changed tomorrow, not the coupling. You're right. My
Okay.
apologies.
No, that's
Host
okay.
fail.
No,
But
that's all good.
today's the last day of no penny breakage, so we can celebrate that. Anyway, there is a coupled entry here. It's now a field of what, 5, 6, 7, a field of 8 with the scratches of the 5 and 8. I'm going 1, 2, 7. I'm going to go with the coupling. You're going 2, 7, 1. Navajo Warrior from the inside, a major factor here.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of just this is a form play. Like a lot. I mean, the horse on form gets the lifetime buyer top last time out. Just seems to be getting better. Now moves from Yakteen, comes east to Safi, and immediately picks up Irad. This is it's a good horse in good form, in good hands. Has wins at the distance. There's a lot to like here. He's definitely a worthwhile favorite. I mean, I don't know if he's unbeatable. You're trying to beat him, but I think he's at least a worthwhile favorite and a hard horse not to include if you're playing the sequence or a sort of any sort of bets.
I agree. What I like about the coupling is one is speed and one is a closer. I think the two is
Yeah.
probably the horse to beat, but you know, Kendrick is gunning big time from the rail. And the horse has foundation with the flat one. I don't like the flat one nearly as much as the 1A. I want to be clear, but it doesn't matter, unfortunately, in this situation. I don't really love the one, but the one is going to make
The one's
theory,
important, right? Yeah, the one's important for you if you want the 1A, right? Yeah.
the one's going to make the two work and has foundation going a mile and an eighth. And I think the one's going to push the 2, and the 7 also, I think, is a speed horse, right? I know the 7's a closer, sorry. But I like the 1A a little better as a closer for our boy Junior. This is also Potts. Potts trains both the entries and the 2. So I think he's got a big shot. He's just coming out of much tougher races to me, and it's got some rest. I would use the 7 also, systemic change. But systemic change is coming off only what a 2-week layoff here for Cantor Masi. So to me, it's either one. I would be pretty surprised, Pete, if the coupling or the 2 does not win. This is a race piece that, fortunately for you and I, anyone's playing the late pick 5, I think can go pretty skinny. And for me, just using 1, 2 for the most part. Anyone else wins, I'd be a little surprised.
Which I think you're going to need because the one we just talked about, you can go deep,
Yep.
and I think the ones we're going to talk about in
Oh,
a
yeah.
few you could go deep. So yeah, this is one where you don't want to fool around and waste bullets on like 3 or 4 horses for sure.
Race 13.
By the way, I get a little. By the way, I love the power picks today with all the stats. Great job, thank you, Sylvain.
Nice job. Yeah,
as long as they
appreciate that,
actually come true and work.
right.
Well,
even if they don't, look, you put some extra stats
yeah,
on there.
He'll be cursing me later today, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, people appreciate that. Claiming 17-5, 7 furlongs. Fillies and mares who never won 2 races. I'll tell you what, all meet long, Pete. I don't remember very many races with this condition. I mean, obviously there have been, but they've probably been during the week, and I haven't really noticed them necessarily. There's a big scratch in Lollipops, who is going to play another day along with Belle Cherie, who I think both of us like both those horses.
It's funny, Lollipops. Lollipops was a power pick spot play for me, and Belle Cherie had a stat, was my second choice, and there was a nice stat for Belle Cherie. So that was a race where statistically, and I liked Lollipops a lot. And that was disappointing to see those 2 scratch, but we'll see where we land.
Well, I land 7-8-5. You land 5-7-9. We got to text Kyle Roscoe today because I don't know.
I mean, come on.
I don't think he bet Kyle's mom last time actually, and now Kyle's mom is running again. So
well, he better not. Now he can't bet it now because then it'll just jinx it. You can't lose it.
Really?
Well,
he can't make up for it. No?
I don't you think that it's sort of a jinx if you didn't play it last time? Now you're going to come back and play it? See,
not for me, but that's okay.
I'm Italian, man. We have a lot of those weird jinxes in our heads.
All right.
No, to me, I'd say lay off it one more time.
Really?
For us, yeah, just for our
don't
purposes.
Tell him. Don't even tell him the horse is running.
Well, I have a funny feeling he'll be looking at Saratoga today, so he might actually spot it.
Interesting.
You would think
Okay.
he would have Kyle's mom, by the way, in his stable, in his Equibase stable, though, to keep an eye on that horse. I mean that
I
you
mean,
know,
it's pretty disrespectful not
it
to.
is
Sorry,
disrespectful. His mom likes to go to the track, so maybe she wants to put a little play on it too.
sorry, Sherry, if you ever listen to this. That Sherry is Kyle's mom. Anyway, well, let's talk about Kyle's mom. This is your top pick, 8-1. Not sure we're getting 8-1. One last time, very, very well, and in a pretty fast time for the level. Obviously, a weak field. Um, Work since are not fast. In
No,
fact, pretty damn slow. They're at Finger Lakes though. I let it cost $2,000. By the way,
I
wow.
mean,
I mean, it's
yeah.
incredible.
Again, I'm not exactly pimping this horse out as Flightline or anything. It's just more of a this. I like this horse originally as sort of the third choice, maybe a horse that I think if can improve, like moving up. I mean, obviously it took 3 times at maiden 20, which isn't the strongest level either to break the maiden, but did it well, like you said, has improved sort of each race. Getting a little time off, coming back, gets Dylan Davis back again. And again, we're not moving into a field. I mean, we're moving into claiming, what is it? Claiming 17.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, claiming 17.5. So we're not exactly moving into world beater territory here. So I figured at least for this horse, it's not some crazy jump. And again, I feel like you're going to have to spread a touch in this race. But he was impressive. First one of the day. She was impressive enough last out for me to at least give her consideration. And by default, she kind of moved up to my top spot after the scratches.
Yeah, I'm gonna use her. She can win. She runs that last race. She probably wins again. I'm gonna default embarrassingly to the possible favorite here in Carolina's Smoke Show, number 7. I, in these races, Pete, I like drop downs. Now I know she was at the level last time, but in general, she's been in starter allowance company 50,000. I mean, those are much, much more difficult races. I think
Yep.
maybe a mile was too far for her last time. It was in the mud. It was a fast pace out of the chute, and Franco had to be aggressive. I just think she can sit more comfortably and win here. Again, very soft play. I just won drop downs in this race. There's actually a few of them. It's why I have the 8. I know you don't have the 8, but the 8's another horse dropping down at 8-1. Julita, do I love her? No. Do I think she can win? Absolutely. Again, just another horse with speed, Pete, and an aggressive jock on a drop. I don't trust a lot of horses here coming off the pace. I do want to mention your 9 quickly, Lady Peace. I didn't know what to do with her. It's IRAD. She's never run on fast dirt,
I
and
know.
there's other speed in here, so I was going to use her and I think IRAD's going to lower the price. Like, why would I even use her? Why? Because she ran aggressively last time in a bad field, and now she faces tougher, and she's never been on fast dirt. So I might use her. You've got her third. I get it though. It's a bad field.
Yeah, we're not exactly lighting the board up here
Well,
with
you got to
positive
be honest
comments.
with people, right? I
But
mean,
I looked at that one like the same thing you said was now we're getting on a fast track. It's only first time dirt. You do pick up IRAD, which maybe that's enough. And again, I don't want to lose to this horse, even though maybe we'll take too much money because of the IRAD tax.
right.
But again, this race is tough, especially because the 2 horses I liked the
Yeah.
most are out. So it's going to be a little spready for me here.
The more I think about it, Pete, I might just single in the previous race with my coupling, and maybe you'll single with your 2. I mean,
With the 2, yeah, I mean, it
well,
might be.
I'd rather use. Here's the thing, right? If you go 2x5, right? We're talking about the last 2 races. This is all about ticket construction, but it's worth having a short conversation. If you use the 1 and 2 in race 12, Pete, and let's say you go 5 deep in race 13, we just covered. If you single and go for it and have the balls to do it, and you're right, now you can almost hit the all button in a race, right? So
Yeah,
the difference between 2x5 and 1x10 to me is absolutely
it's
huge. Now
huge. Yeah.
it doesn't guarantee you're going to get a price in that all ball, but boy, you open yourself up to a lot more opportunities. So I'm sure you think about that. I think about it a lot, and I tend to be much more aggressive. I tend to single and then hit I'm not even an all button guy, but I just rather go 1x10 instead of 2x5. I guess.
See,
Times.
it's funny. I don't do that enough because I don't. Sometimes I get pissed because I don't have enough confidence in my pick,
Oh,
and
have confidence, Pete. You're a good
I know,
handicapper,
I
man.
know. Well, yesterday I did it right. We had that 4 shoot it out that we liked.
Yeah, that was nice.
I singled that one on the front end, and it was, and I mean, screwed up later, but still, I was, I was happy with myself for singling that horse on the. I mean, it got bet to 4-5, so
Yep.
it didn't look that ballsy in retrospect. But I think on the surface, I don't know if that was an obvious single by any stretch.
No, I don't. I
At
don't
least,
think it was. In fact,
so
Serling and the people on the desk were against that horse
yeah.
in general because of the price, and I was like, I don't know. And by the way,
I
that
mean, we
horse is a
liked it. We
serious
liked it
runner
Thursday.
now.
Yeah,
Serious
that
runner.
horse has come out of
But
nowhere. But yes, we digress. But let's move
yeah.
on.
Anyway, let's move on. We are going to talk about the Jockey Club Gold Cup in literally 2 minutes. Race 5. Do not go anywhere, people. And I also need to talk about Thursday's fundraiser, Pete, as well. Let's go through the last race here quickly. Main 50, mile 16th, inner turf. This field held together. The A's out. The weather's going to be great. No issues. Deemer is a big favorite on the outside morning line, number 11 for Sri DeVoe and Franco. You going with that gelding? I'm actually going to try to beat him with the number 3. Let's Fight. These are New York breds. What do you like about Deemer on the far outside?
I mean, again, I thought this was a logical include horse, but I think you do have a concern because it's not the best, it's not the quickest. So again, you're going to be coming off the pace, especially from this post, most likely. The one thing I like though, it's not projected to be a fast pace, but there are multiple horses that like to be forward. So maybe we can get a little bit more speed up front, and then that'll set up better for the 11 Deemer with Franco if he can break and sort of get himself at least in a decent position. It's a pretty big field. So if this horse breaks poorly and is stuck way back, I think it's going to be compromised. But yeah, like that trip there, I mean, I guess maybe you don't want to be super wide the whole time, but
yeah, I don't like mid-pack horses breaking from the far outside into slower paces, Pete, because this is exactly what could happen, right?
Yeah, and that's
when
why
it's
I'm
a fast
hoping it's
pace,
a little quicker, maybe. But who
when
knows?
you see a lot of horses with a lot of speed, you can like sort of spread eagle the field, and the horses spread out, and the 11 can tuck in. When it's sort of a moderate mat pace, and the 11 doesn't have a lot of speed
Just
anyway,
stuck. Yeah,
you're going to need to get lucky from out there. And the 11 is clearly the horse to beat. But I think you brought up the pace situation very appropriately because that is my concern. Now, if he works out a trip from there, he probably wins. I'm going to take a flyer here at the number 3. Let's Fight. This is a war front on the male side, Scat Daddy on the dam side. Again, these are not killers, but there are some sibs like Sebastian the First who has run, pretty darn well. I know they're main special weight races, but I mean, has some turf. So there's turf in the pedigree. This is IRAD. This is sort of a horse been off since the winter when the horse couldn't run, Pete, on the turf because it's the winter in New York. It's Michael Maker. I think this horse is really interesting, and I have a gut feeling Let's Fight's going to take some money.
yeah.
More than the 9-2. So there's a lot of angles I like here with Let's Fight. A lot of angles similar. Different angles.
I was just going to say that's an A for me. It was my 4th horse. I had 4 A's in this race, and this is my 4th one. So I'm with you. It was just I wanted to talk about the 7 a bit, so I put the 7 in 3rd, but I like the 3 with you as well.
We'll talk about the 7 to end our conversation here, and then get into the race 5. Similar to the number 2 Candy Town, which I mentioned on Thursday night, who won the last race. I like the horses that are like almost guaranteed to get a good trip, and that's how I feel about the 3. But number 2, Hello Newman can win.
I like the 2.
Blame it on KJ is the interesting horse. Go ahead, talk about this one for Delphi, actually.
I was going to talk Hello Newman a second because it's an interesting one because
right.
it dropped down from it routed his first 2. It wasn't great, but it made it special. Dropped to the maiden 50 where we are now, but was going shorter. So this was just an interesting horse and closed. So you wonder, did this horse like the cutback and maybe won't love the stretch out again because it's the favorite? Or will he appreciate the extra ground and maybe the softer company is what's going to help him out? I don't know. That was an interesting horse for me, especially as the favorite. Yeah, blame it on KJ. Didn't run a step in his maiden race on the turf going 5.5. Then stretched out to a mile, ran much better. It was taken off, and it was a speed favoring track and sort of sat off it a bit, but seemed to run better broke better. Maybe that first race was just terrible, kind of first race crap, broke bad, was out of it the whole time, closed a little bit late. I think that one might be sneaky getting back on the turf, which is where, I mean, it's a Kitten's Joy horse, getting back to what I think he wants to do. I just thought that one was sneaky, but I think could get lost in the betting, especially because that first turf race was so poor. So I just wanted to mention that one. But although David Duggan, 1 for 38 dirt to turf, but I don't count a takeoff as dirt to turf as much, right? I mean, it's not like he meant to have that horse on the dirt. It was an accidental dirt. So I sort of ignore a stat like that, but I just wanted to mention it. And Rivera, the 2 for 66 is not the greatest, the jockey, not the greatest in the world, but hey, we'll see.
I don't have intel, by the way. People are wondering on that Adelphi horse. I do not have a piece of that one. All right, Pete. Now let's talk about 2 quick things. Before we talk about the Jockey Club Gold Cup Race 5, I got to bring this up one more time, Pete. We have a special fundraiser this Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday is going to be partially a fundraiser, partially handicapping. That is Cody's wish right there. Well, that's actually not Cody's wish himself. That is a statue of Cody's wish. They are putting up a very cool $300,000 a statue / area in the Kentucky Horse Park. And we need this organization needs our help and needs everyone's help. So we're going to have the sculptor is going to be on Thursday, Pete, as well as Kelly Dorman, the patriarch of the Dorman family, the father, of course, to Kylie and, Cody, in the memoriam, and of course, husband as well to Leslie. And so we're going to have Kelly Dorman on. We're going to have the sculptor on, and we need your help, ladies and gentlemen. So check us out Thursday for a special show. We're going to start half an hour earlier, Pete, because our schedule is going to change so we don't bump into NFL, which is starting, of course, next week as well. But check out, please spread the word, look for your emails, etc., on a special fundraiser for that. I'm going to be there for the not the opening, the display, the ceremony,
the with, unveiling,
Paul Halloran, the unveiling with Paul Halloran and probably Kyle Roscoe and probably Noah Maher. We're all going to be there for the opening on the second week of Keeneland. Okay, join us please for that, Pete. This is the big one today, along with the Pacific Classic yesterday, where Fierceness. Wow, I mean, it was not a great field other than journalism. He was clearly better than journalism, and he ran a great race. This Breeders' Cup Classic continues like it's going to look monstrous, hopefully with Nisos, but I mean, who the hell knows about him?
I can see that horse never running again, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you know what? I'd be okay with that too. My boy's back, Sierra Leone, who's been taking a lot of crap over the years. I just don't understand why. I got to tell you, Pete, I don't have banners for this race today. It's 1.25 miles, $1 million. Winning, you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sierra Leone's 8-5. I'm not picking Sierra Leone today. How about that? I'm not picking him on top. I'm going 2-3-5. Again, I don't have banners for this race. I'm sorry. I'm going 2-3-4. Excuse me, Pete. I'm going 2-3-4 in this race. Who are you going with first for your top 3 in the Jockey Club Gold Cup?
So I actually went 3-4-2, which is funny because I am a Sierra Leone hater most of the time. But
I know.
I don't like I wanted to pick Highland Falls with you, so I'll let you make the case for Highland Falls. But we have questions, right? So Mindframe,
we do.
Mindframe first. We'll talk about. I think Mindframe's a better horse potentially, but I don't know if he's a better horse at 1.25 miles. And I think Mindframe is most likely going to be up closer to what could be a decent pace. Potentially. It looks like there's enough pace in here. We have Contrary Thinking, who is in here to help out Sierra Leone again, we think, but we also have Phileas Fogg, who has speed. Antiquarium likes to be up close. I think there's enough speed in here to where it will set up for Sierra Leone, but Mindframe is going to most likely have to sit close to that pace as well. And we don't know about him at the 1.25 miles. We're uncomfortable with him. There's been a lot of questions about whether he can get the distance. So I'm looking at it going, I think Mindframe gets the lead potentially, and then can Sierra Leone run him down? And we're going to talk about the 2, probably the same scenario. But if he does it, then he vaults right to the top of the class. Yes. Matt Miller, Howard, I suspect you missed earlier chat comment. Lots of love for you and Pete and HHH for doing these shows. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
everyone. And
Matt. Hey,
thanks,
Matt,
Matt. Thanks,
when you
everyone.
host, look, there's only so many things I could do, man.
Yeah.
It's like you might have missed yeah, I missed a lot of things in the chat. Sorry, but no,
Yeah.
Matt, thank you very much. And thanks to everyone for bringing that up. Go ahead, Pete, Mindframe.
But no, so I think it's a race where I want to see if Mindframe can do it because I really like Mindframe as a horse, and I think he has a chance to be up at the top of this division if he can get the 1.25 miles. We'll see. We don't know. I know anybody who says they know is bullshitting you pretty much. They're going to watch it like we did today, right? I mean, isn't that the truth? Like nobody knows.
Yeah, no, we don't. I saw this horse in person for the first time. I'm trying to think. Yeah, for the first time in the Stephen Foster, Pete, when I covered it.
Yeah.
This is a cool horse. He's not, it's interesting. He's not huge, but his stride is absolutely monstrous. Watching him come down the stretch like 15 feet away from him or 20 feet away from him, he covers so much ground. My issue with him today, and he can win for sure, and that'd be a nice double with Mindframe and Fierceness both winning on both codes for Poli.
Yeah.
He got a perfect trip last time. Now maybe he'll get a great trip again. This is going to be a fast pace, and he's going to have to really work harder in this race than he's worked really the last time for sure. So to me, it's more of a price thing, but he can absolutely win. And if he wins today and does it nicely, this is another horse absolutely in the Breeders' Cup conversation. I feel like I'm defaulting a little bit to Highland Falls. I don't like picking a horse, Pete, that just ran a monster race because last time was the time. And the last time was 14-1. Now he's going to be 7-2. So from a betting perspective, this is not a horse I'm supposed to be taking and liking. However, there's two things to me that are very clear with Highland Falls. Number one, he loves Saratoga. And number two, he figures to get another great trip today. Disarm is slow from the inside. So he's going to be ahead of Disarm early. Should be sitting on the rail, just in a nice, comfortable spot in theory, getting a real good trip again. And he ran an absolute hole in the wind last time. I mean, I don't think people talk about how good he ran last time. He's going to have to show it to me again. So this is a soft pick in this race because, again, you're not getting the price that you got last time, but he's really good. The only in Sierra Leone I don't like, and maybe this is silly, because he always strings together good races, but he doesn't win consecutive races.
No.
So my only thing against Sierra Leone today, he's going to get the pace. He's going to get a better distance in theory. I just feel like last time was the time with him in terms of the win end, Pete, and they were pointing to the Whitney. I mean, it's the damn Whitney, right? Like, it doesn't feel like they're pointing to this race. I think he's going to run great. I think he's going to run a really good second or third today. I could be wrong. I'm not wishing bad things upon him. He's going to be 6-5, not 8-5. It's very situational with me with Sierra Leone. I hope he takes way back. I hope he makes a big run and runs well and sets him up for a win in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So I just don't love him today. That's just my overall. And there is speed. He's got his barn buddy, systemic, contrary thinking is in there again. I mean, you have Phileas Fogg, who has to go. I looked at Antiquarian real carefully. You know, I love this horse.
I was trying to make cases for some of these longer horses.
He can win too. He's just not mature enough yet. But maybe today is the day. I'm going to use him.
He's a little grindy to me, right?
He's very grindy.
He's grindy.
This is a big ask. I don't. He's never faced this.
That's what I mean. I don't think he's. It's not like he's going to kick away. I think if he's like a horse who gets the lead, I think he could get run down. I don't know. He was a little I was watching the replay. I was really trying to get. I was even looking at Phileas Fogg. Like, could this horse steal this and just sort of sit off, contrary thinking, and get the jump and maybe steal it at a huge price? Loves the track. You know, had his best race last out, and he's won. He's actually 2 for 3 at 1.25 miles. He's got more wins at 1.25 miles than Sierra Leone does. Yeah. And anybody else in the field, actually. So I was looking at it going, is there a case to make for this horse? I think it's a tougher race on paper than it looks, but can Sierra Leone just get the trip and get the pace? And is he just better than these going longer? Maybe that's the case. I guess we'll see.
I even looked at White Abario, who, generally speaking, I'm against anywhere outside of.
I thought that's who you were going to pick based on our chats the other day.
I almost did. I'm always against him outside of Florida, other than, of course, 2 years ago when he was amazing. I mean, if he wins, I would not be shocked. Maybe today is going to be his day. He's capable. I'm not sure about the distance at this point of his career, but it's a great race. My general feeling is I'm a little against Sierra Leone today.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to use him. So and ironically, it's crazy. You actually have him on top, which I found hilarious when I saw
Well,
your
this is
picks.
the funny thing about this race. But
unbelievable.
this race is involved in 3 sequences too, because of where it's positioned. So it's in the early pick 5. There's one that starts in the third, and there's one that starts with this race. So I wrote that in the power picks. Was like, you really need to nail this race if you're playing all the sequences or you're playing a few. You really need to nail this race and figure out how deep are you going to go. And how you feel about the races around it. Because in most of mine, I actually went 2, 3, and 4, even though that's probably stupid. I was like, I just don't know who's going to win this race. And I don't want to lose a nice pick 5 because one of the logicals won this race that I can't separate by that much, I think.
I might be spreading quite a bit actually in this race. So I don't know, it might be a mistake. But anyway, Pete, a lot of fun. We've got our viewership has been awesome with these shows. We really appreciate it. If you're a new viewer, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I didn't even tell people to do that. Hit the notification bell. Pay attention to YouTube because we are changing our schedule a little bit. Pacific Horse Players is going to change after next week, guys, because Del Mar is ending. So they're going to move back to Tuesdays, Pete. I talked to Noah about that with Del Mar ending and West Coast San Anita getting their stuff up earlier as they should. So anyway, we're going to go a little bit earlier on Thursdays. Our schedule's going to change a little bit starting next week. So pay attention to YouTube for that. And then again, Pete, we really want people to participate in our fundraiser next Thursday. You don't have to watch next Thursday because we're going to send out information through emails and social media and everything. But we'd love people to donate whatever they can to the Cody's Wish memorial statue that's going to be at Kentucky Horse Park. Pete, I know Saratoga is not like your favorite place to bet, and let's be honest. I mean, I don't want to BS people. Myself and Paul are bigger fans than you from a betting perspective of Saratoga, but this has been, as usual, a very special meet.
Yeah, I mean, I've hit like 4 pick 5s at Saratoga in the past month.
Yeah, you should love this place.
So I'm warming up to it a little bit. No, I mean, it's got great racing and there's been some absolutely stunning performances. So I'm not going to argue against it. I just haven't. It's not my favorite place to bet, and that's that is what it is. We love all our tracks, but I mean, we know that the racing is going to. We know the horses that are going to show up are fantastic. That's one thing, and we've gotten a little lucky with the weather, which I don't like to talk about. And later in the meet, so that's been a little bit better. It hasn't been as disappointing where we're losing the turf races and getting a shitload of scratches. So I think that's been better, and that's made it a more pleasant experience and a more easily handicapable experience too.
I agree. We appreciate everyone waking up in the mornings for these shows. There is a card tomorrow, and if you're a Saratoga Power Pick subscriber, you will receive a bonus Labor Day edition written by combination, by the way, of myself and Paul Halloran. For Pete Visco, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz. Our last Saratoga Today show in the morning. Again, really appreciate everyone watching and listening, and check out a little bit of a new schedule in the coming weeks on the HHH Racing podcast. As we always say, crush your bets at the spa. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.